As last year's outright champ, the Volkswagen Polo GTI is back to defend its crown. With an all-new model arriving later this year, the Polo's been unchanged this time round. However, with a 1.8 litre 4 and sub $28,000 price tag, it remains dangerous as ever.
Look, I reckon there's a three-way battle this year at Bang for Your Bucks for the title of warmest hatch, and I reckon the Volkswagen Polo GTI is pretty much near the top. The Polo's probably a little bit more expensive, but man, it works. It's such a nice car. They added adaptive dampers to it last year. There's one button marked Sport, and that's it. That's all you have to do to turn it into a really entertaining, fun little drive.
Polo GTI 1 minute 43.5. It's your regular hot hatch. It's so much fun out there. It does everything right. It's traditional hot hatch. You can slide it in with the rear of the car. You can still feel some of those electronics wanting to come back in, but it's not too bad. It still gives you that fun factor. Brakes are good. Seating position is fantastic. It's one of those few cars today where you can still get nice and low and feel like you're actually part of the car. Can't say enough about it. Great car.
The 1.8 engine is an absolute cracker. This is a car that it's kind of more than the sum of its parts. You don't expect it to be as good as it is. And even when you take it on the track, although it's nice and softly set up for the road, it doesn't fall in a big screaming heap when you do hit the track.
What dominates the Volkswagen Polo GTI is that engine, a 1.8 litre turbo stuffed into a little grocery getter. It really gets up and goes out of corners. It takes third gear down the back straight, and I found it really chuckable. Obviously it's no Golf GTI performance with a lack of rear diff, but a lot of car for the money.
This is sort of the defending champion, this car, and we all have massive expectations of it, and for me it lived up to them. I think it's got a really torquey engine and it feels grunty, and it sort of really wants to hammer out of corners. You can't turn the electronics off in it, which is a bit of a shame because it feels like it wants to sort of like dance around and play with you on the track.
In terms of value, the Polo GTI is probably going to lose a couple of points. It's a couple of grand dearer than the Astra and the i30, so that will play against it, but if you can find the cash, out of the three, it's one of the best ones there. Out on the track, it might be undergunned in terms of power. It's a couple of kilowatts off the other guys, but it makes up for that by being a bit lighter. So, it swings and roundabouts, and I reckon it swings in the right way for the Polo GTI.